So if you're using an AI coding assistant like Claude, you're probably used to just chatting with it. But what if you could stop suggesting and start commanding? That's what we're digging into today. How to use slash commands to take direct control of your AI and unlock a totally new level of speed and precision.
I mean, think about it. Are you kind of tired of writing these super long, detailed prompts, just crossing your fingers and hoping the AI gets what you mean? What if you could just tell it exactly what to do, what files to look at, and even how to approach a problem? This is that big shift from prompting to commanding, and honestly, it's a huge game changer.
Okay, so let's look at the roadmap. This is our whole workflow broken down. First, we'll make sure the AI actually understands our project. Then we'll narrow its focus. We'll plan our attack before writing code, make changes safely, check our work, and, just in case, know how to hit the undo button. This 6-step loop is pretty much the key to everything.
Right. First things first. You can't ask your Copilot to navigate if they don't have the map. So, Section 1 is all about getting Claude properly oriented with your codebase.
Every single session is going to start here, with /init. Just think of it like turning the key in the ignition of a car. It's the command that tells Claude, hey, wake up, look around, and get the lay of the land for this project. It's absolutely the first thing you need to run, no exceptions.
Okay, so you've run /init, but how do you actually know that you and the AI are on the same page? Well, that's what /context is for. This is your sanity check. It literally shows you what Claude has loaded into its brain. It lets you confirm it's looking at the right files before you ask it to do anything.
You know how a huge codebase can be super distracting, right? It's the same for an AI. That's why controlling the scope is so important. With commands like add and remove, you can get really surgical, telling Claude exactly which files to pay attention to. And if you want to get even more specific, focus tells it to basically put on blinders and ignore everything else. This is how you keep the AI on track.
So, Claude understands the project. It knows which files to look at. Now, it is so tempting to just say, go write the code, right? But the best developers, human or AI, they think first. This next part is all about strategy.
Before you let it touch a single line of code, use /plan. This command asks the AI to break down the entire task into a logical step-by-step strategy. It's like having a senior dev sitting next to you, helping you map out your approach before you get bogged down in the details.
And what about those really gnarly complex problems? That's where /think comes into play. If plan gives you the what, then /think gives you the deep why and how. It's like telling Claude, okay, slow down, take a deep breath, and really reason through this one. You use this when you're tackling something tricky and you just can't afford a simple mistake.
All right, we are oriented. We have a plan. Now it's time for the main event, actually changing the code. But we're going to do this in a way that is totally transparent and, most importantly, completely safe.
Now, this right here is probably the most crucial workflow in this entire explainer. I call it the safety loop. You never, ever let an AI change your code blindly. First, you use /diff to see exactly what it wants to change. Next, /review to check that the logic is sound. And only when you are 100% happy do you use /apply to actually make the changes. See it, check it, then commit it.
But what happens if you apply a change and immediately realize, oh no, that broke everything? Well, there is an ultimate safety net. One word, /undo. It's your instant rewind button. It takes that broken file and just reverts it back to how it was before the change. This command gives you total freedom to experiment because you always know you can take one step back.
Okay, the code is written, but we're not done yet. Now we have to prove that it actually works and that it didn't accidentally break something else in the process. Time for some quality control.
And here are your two main tools for that. Use /validate for a really quick checkup. It'll scan for obvious syntax mistakes or logic errors. But for the real proof, you use /test. That command will run your project's entire test suite, confirming that your new code plays nice with everything else.
So, beyond that core workflow of plan, change, and test, there are a few other essential commands you'll be using all the time for just managing your session and exploring the code. Think of this as your utility belt. Now, this is a really important one to get right. /clear is like wiping a whiteboard. It just erases your recent conversations. You can start a new topic fresh. But /reset, that's a full factory reset. It erases the conversation and makes Claude forget everything it's learned about your project. So use /clear whenever you want, but be really careful with /reset.
And finally, don't forget these two. They're amazing for exploring. If you're thrown into a brand new confusing codebase, you can just point to a chunk of code and use /explain to get a breakdown in plain English. And if you're trying to find where a specific function is defined, /search is like your own personal code detective.
So, after all of that, if there's only one thing you remember, please let it be this. This three-step loop is the absolute heart of working safely with an AI copilot. Always check the diff, review the logic, and only then apply the change. That is the mantra for coding with confidence.
See, the power isn't just in writing a clever prompt anymore. It's in having direct, precise command over the tool. You now have the controls to guide and collaborate with your AI partner like never before. So the only question left is, what are you going to build with it?